All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to crack the code on 5 of the most common, sometimes tricky, primary 5 science topics. By the time we're done here, you'll have the tools you need to turn these questions into some easy wins on your exams. Let's do this.
You know that feeling, right? You're staring at an exam question, you know you studied for it, but the answer just won't come to you. It's super frustrating, but believe me, we are about to change that.
Because here is the real secret. Doing well in science isn't just about memorizing facts. Nope, it's all about how you use that knowledge. And that's exactly what we're going to focus on.
Okay, here's our game plan. We're going to tackle 5 key areas. We'll start with the very building blocks of life, then take a ride on the body's oxygen highway. After that, we'll solve the mystery of water droplets, uncover electricity's really cool magnetic trick, and finally, learn the secret to answering questions like a real scientist. Let's dive in.
First up, life's building blocks. We're talking about the cell. You know, where it all begins. Let's jump straight into a classic exam-style question. Take a look at these different cells. The question is, which ones can actually reproduce? And, more importantly, why?
The whole answer, the entire secret, lies in one critical part: the nucleus. You see, the nucleus contains the genetic information that a cell needs to divide, and that's it. That's why cells V, X, and Y are the ones that can reproduce. They're the ones with a nucleus. It's really that straightforward. But wait, this part is how you get full marks. A pretty good answer would be, the nucleus passes down characteristics. It's not wrong, but a great answer, the kind that gets top marks, says, the nucleus contains genetic information which is passed down. See that difference? Those 2 little keywords are absolutely everything.
Okay, let's move on. Our second topic is what I like to call the oxygen highway. We're going to crack the code on the circulatory system. Here is another problem you'll definitely see. We have blood flowing from the lungs at point X and blood coming back from the legs at point Y. So which blood has more oxygen in it, X or Y? And you got to explain why.
To figure this out, all you have to do is follow the oxygen's journey. So blood coming from the lungs is just loaded with oxygen, right? It's super rich. It then travels all over the body to places like the legs. Now, once it gets there, the cells use up that oxygen for a super important process called respiration. So what does that mean for the blood coming back? Well, it's going to be poor in oxygen.
So this slide basically puts it all together. At point X, coming fresh from the lungs, oxygen is entering the blood. But at point Y, on its way back from the legs, that oxygen has already been used for respiration. So the conclusion is pretty obvious, right? The blood at X is much, much richer in oxygen.
All right, let's switch gears a little, from biology to physics. Our next topic, the mystery of water droplets. We are going to solve some classic condensation puzzles. Okay, picture this. You've got 2 rooms, and they're separated by a single glass panel. Room A is warmer than room B. The question is, on which side of that glass panel will water droplets form? Side A or side B? What do you think? Now, this might seem tricky, but it's actually incredibly simple if you just remember 2 rules for condensation. First, find the warmer water vapor. Second, find the cooler surface that it touches. That's the whole recipe. Warm vapor plus a cool surface always equals condensation. Easy.
So let's apply those rules. Room A has the warmer water vapor. The glass panel itself is being cooled down by the air in room B, so that makes it our cooler surface. So what happens when that warm water vapor from room A hits the cool surface of the glass? Poof! You get water droplets forming right there on side A. Mystery solved!
And now for our fourth topic, electricity's magnetic trick. We're going to take a look at how electromagnets work their magic.
So this is a circuit breaker. Its job is super important. It protects our homes by cutting off the electricity when too much current starts to flow. But how does it actually know when to do that? How does it work?
The secret is the electromagnet. See, an electromagnet is just a temporary magnet. You make one when an electric current flows through a coil of wire that's wrapped around a piece of magnetic material. And here is the key thing to remember. More current means a stronger magnet.
So let's watch it happen. First, let's say there's a surge of power. Way too much current starts flowing. Instantly, that metal cylinder becomes a powerful electromagnet. That strong magnetic force then attracts the iron arm, pulling it over. And click.
The contacts separate, the circuit opens, and the power is cut. It's a fantastic little safety device.
Now, here is a very common mistake people make. They might say the iron arm works because it's a conductor of electricity. And, well, that's true, but it's not why it moves. The correct property, the one that matters here, is that it's a magnetic material. If it wasn't magnetic, the electromagnet would have absolutely nothing to pull on.
Okay, for our final section, we're going to zoom out and look at the process of science itself. Let's talk about answering like a scientist and the secret of conducting a fair test.
In any experiment, like this one, testing how different materials conduct heat, knowing your variables is everything. The changed variable is the one thing you were testing on purpose. Here, it's the type of rod. Everything else, like the length, the thickness, the amount of wax, those are your constant variables. They absolutely must stay the same. Why? Because otherwise, you have no idea if your comparison is fair. And that is the secret to every single fair test question.
You know, it really all comes down to this idea from Andy Ling at scienceshifu.com. Guiding your child to be the master of science concepts. It's not just about knowing things, it's about mastering them. And that is exactly what we've been working on today.
We've broken down cells, circulation, condensation, and circuits. And the principles we used, spotting those keywords, following a logical process, thinking like a scientist, you can apply those to any problem. So what puzzle will you go out and solve next? Thanks for tuning in.